We also have a management waiting by. The spotlight now is on Greenply Industries to talk about how the business trends are shaping up as we're almost winding down the year. Manoj, Tulsian, joint MD and CEO at Greenply Industries, is with us now to take a couple of questions. Thanks very much, Manoj, for joining in. So, we're in the final leg of the year. Let's start by just getting a basic sense of how Q4 has shaped up in terms of volumes, in terms of pricing, overall demand. What has that meant for both the segments, MDF as well as plywood?
Thank you for having me on the show. See, Q4 numbers won't be able to speak on details, because of the regulatory things. But I can give you a picture of the overall year. The overall year, if you really see, demand has been slightly tepid. But more so, the challenge which we have faced in the last 3 quarters has been liquidity concerns. So even in pockets, when we get to talk to our channel, they show about demand, they are not able to pay us on time. And that is one discipline which we have been hearing across the segment, not only panel, but even in other building material products. When we are talking, we are finding that liquidity has surely become a concern. I think that is one of the reasons also that somewhere the growth during the year is getting hampered. Quarter 3, quarter 4, if you really look at, on the real estate side, when I look at data points, I find that the numbers looks good in pockets, but somehow we don't, you people are the best people to, answer where is that money gone from the system. We all believe that after a union election, there's a lot of money which flows into the country, on the consumption side. And normally the years behaves very well.
Manoj, just to get that the clarity on that point, what you're saying is that liquidity concerns have hit you. Are you talking about, in terms of overall payment cycles, receivables? And now I guess that should be easing up, right? Because the RBI has taken a very different approach in the last couple of weeks. So overall volume growth for the year, and what are you looking at?
No, the volume growth has not been in line with, what we guided. And as I said that, clearly, yes, it is on the receivable cycle, not getting the payment on time, which means that, either we break that discipline and, get into that, the rough side of it. But I don't think that's a very feasible way of looking at things from a long-term perspective. We have corrected many things, which was a concern in the past. So these are, short-term hiccups which we are willing to look at. Because I can clearly see that, in the going forward, in the next 2 to 3 years, things looks to be very, very good. Especially because of the implementation of QCO, things will change dramatically. And I can clearly see a shift which can happen from the unorganized to the organized market. So, that's the tailwind which we are able to see going forward.
All right. Hi, Mr. Tulsian. Good to have you as always on the show. Give us a couple of details. Let's focus on the plywood business itself. Century seems to be growing at a faster clip. So if you could tell us, what is your market share? Have you lost out on market share out there? Point number one. Point number two is margins, you've gradually been improving it just in the plywood segment. Do you see it head to around that 10% odd mark? Double digits is something that we should be working with for the coming year since things will look up. Please go ahead.
So Nigel, first I'll come on the margin. If you really see, our margin has been in single digit. Yes. Though in the last quarter, after the results, I've given a commentary that, definitely now we have worked internally on a few things. A few places we have taken price correction also. So the margin looks like it will go back into the double digit. Having said that, one very important point which I want to bring to the notice of everyone is if you really see our A&P spend in the last 3 years have gone up by almost 1.6%. Earlier, we used to spend around 3% of our total sales as A&P. Now it has gone to close to around 4.5 to 4.6%. So that's the additional investment which you made in the business, because if you really see, we were only into plywood business at one point of time. And then we also got into MDF. Now we have gone into hardware also. So the brand overall needs to be strengthened. This is a good investment which we have started doing. Now that we know that we are at that level of investment, maybe for one more year or a couple of years, we might have to remain at around 4.5%. We started working now internally on the efficiency parameters. Okay. And also, I think that the next best trigger will also come in the coming year, because last 4 to 5 years, you will see clearly that the timber prices were only going up. Now we get a sense from our plantation team that, that is possibly looking like the end of the cycle of the prices rising. There would be new supplies which will be coming during the year for sure. Around Q3 is what they are promising.
So, Mr. Tulsian, Mr. Tulsian, just to confirm, though your A&P spends have gone up, you have the benefit of lower timber prices, which will help you. So we see double-digit margins in FY26. Is that the goal?
In plywood business, for sure, yes. MDF, in any case, we are doing very well in terms of margin, but plywood also, yes.
Okay, all right. And market share? Have you lost some market share? Do you want to pull that back?
Well, yes, of course. I think we are prepared as a company now. In 3 to 4 years, there has been a lot of rigor which has gone. There was a lot of focus which has also gone in setting up MDF as a business entity. Successfully, we were able to do that, and we were able to ramp up. Then the next challenge came is again getting into a new line of business, which was hardware, furniture hardware. That also successfully the plant has been set up in the fastest time. The production has started. So, lot much focus will come back to our bread and butter business, which is plywood. So once that happens, and since, many of the internal things in terms of building up our processes, system, automations has worked quite well, I think we are very well prepared now to look at a good growth, including the margin improvement.
So double-digit volume growth in FY26, right?
Looks possible, very much possible.
Very good speaking to you, Mr. Tulsian. We have not got too many numbers out of you, but we've got a broad sense in terms of how you see business evolving. We look forward to chatting up with you at the end of Q4 numbers and then press you a little bit more for numbers for FY26. Wishing you a good day ahead.